absolutely. People share things.
Except the haters and the trolls.
Yeah.
The haters and the trolls will always be haters and trolls.
Absolutely. But if you've got haters and trolls, you're doing
actually
something well.
Doing well, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Collective Mic, the podcast where women leaders get loud about what really matters. I'm your host, Joyce Tody, founder of Collective Women's Leadership. We are not here for fluff. We're here to lead, build, and rise together. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, building your own brand, or redefining leadership on your terms, this mic is for you. So let's get into it. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm excited about this episode because we have the very famous, my famous Instagram social media manager, Hayley with Better Be Social. Now, we had her on a year ago, and the reason for this podcast is because with the digital age of AI and everything changes socially on social media so quickly in 1 year that I thought it would be really fun to have Hayley back on. And if you listened last year to her episode, which you should, or maybe you don't need to, but maybe you did, or you're in the social media game now, right? We're going to talk about all the things that have changed in social media this year and how it is progressing moving forward, the trends, all of that. So welcome. Better Be Social is her business. Hayley, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you.
So she is the real deal. She is a true UGC creator. She is responsible for all of the Collective Women's Leadership social media reels that you have seen ever put out since the inception of the company, truly.
Yeah.
And so last year, I think we talked about trends and what else did we talk about? Reels and what was trending last year. And I think everything we talked about last year is kind of gone away.
Yeah, mostly.
Hashtags were still in, long captions were still in, all of these types of things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So a lot has changed. You know, a year ago we were doing a lot of educational, like 5 tips to blah, blah, blah. Now it's more about creating hooks that aren't that specific, like hooks that are kind of, they don't look like a hook, but actually they are, and they pull people in. Hashtags, yeah, really not a thing. We still use them sometimes.
1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2. And yeah, reels are, still ongoing, but we're now introducing carousels as well. So that was something that we weren't doing. And like you said, captions are a lot shorter these days because people just don't want to read them. They haven't got the attention span with everything that, with people scrolling through social media every single day, swipe, 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 swipe. There is just, their attention span is just not there anymore. People don't read stuff unless they're really pulled in. So yeah, there's been a really big change.
Yeah, a big shift. I feel as though we see a lot more realness. We've always been real. We've not ever been filtered. And we really come from a place of giving real tips or tricks, and not tricks, but tips or education around kind of corporate America or any situation. If you're an entrepreneur, if you are in a new in a leadership role, you've been in a leadership role for a long time. So I pride ourselves that we've been very real with the content that we've put out, but I feel as though people are shifting and trying to make their content more real, not so curated, right?
Yeah.
I think a while ago on the grids were super curated. They looked beautiful. The color scheme was matching and perfect, and people don't look at that as much anymore, right?
No. I mean, obviously, to have a good reel going off, you want that crisp content. But like you say, people just stick a phone up.
Yeah.
It's face to cam. They talk about it, and yeah, there's a lot more about that person rather than the tips and the education. So people absolutely love it when you talk about your past and what you've done and your opinions on things. That is just, people want to know the real you, like you say, because with a world of AI, you want that realness because there's so much that's taken away with it. You look at TV ads now, they're talking about AI. It's crazy. AI is everywhere. It's taking over. So realness is so important, and having that connection with people, because if you can't do that, then you're pretty screwed.
Yeah. And you use AI. You caption our stuff, of course, within our voice and who Collective Women's Leadership is and the voice and all of those types of things. But when you are taking on prospective clients or working with clients now, kind of what is your approach this year versus last year? So if you were speaking to potentially like new clients that are listening as to why they need to hire out, their social media, because it still, to be consistent, still takes a lot. I think there is an argument that you see out there, like you don't have to post all the time, which I don't buy, especially if you are trying to build a brand, whether it's a personal brand or a business brand. What are your thoughts on like the consistency of posting?
Yeah, I mean, Adam Mosery confirmed that himself, and if you want confirmation from anybody, it's going to be from him.
Yeah.
And that is that the more you put out, the more visibility you're going to get. So yes, I mean, there's other people that have gone viral or got more visibility, but for me, the purpose of going viral isn't always the best thing anymore.
No.
Because you get all these people coming to you, but they might not be your right audience.
That's
so
right.
Everybody loves what you've done, but that's just one reel of a whole strategy.
Yeah.
We had a reel that went really well with Robin doing loads of different things and turning up and being different generations. But that's not the whole of what CWL is about.
No.
So people will drop off because they're not seeing what they've come to get.
Right. And I think, so go into the strategy a little bit, because we do have a strategy each year we have a strategy that we've built with you now for 2 years. We're actually going into almost our third, but talk to the audience about, if you do have a strategy of a brand you're building online, the importance of telling that story each and every single day, and why that strategy is important in terms of storytelling and building influence and building trust via, a 30 second to a minute reel, and why that still holds true today.
Yeah, so with a strategy, you need to know kind of what you're posting, and there's no point in posting just willy-nilly and just kind of winging it, because you need to have those pillars of what you're talking about and what things work, and being able to see what works, because when things do work, then you can repurpose it. We have so many different things that we do. The role play does really well, and that still does really well. So we still continue to do that. We look at things that are working at the time. So any sort of trends, we move that into our own voice. But also now it's talking about the things that are about you as well, and finding out who you are as a person and how this business is built, because people want to know the beginning and the end of your business, what has gone wrong. So we're bringing into the strategy now, we're bringing in not just scripted things, we're asking you questions and you say it as it is.
Right.
And I think those do really well, because people can see the real Joyce Toti,
Right. Yeah, and there is a strategy. There's nothing easy about building a business or a brand. We've pivoted so many different times and we're 2 years in. So we've had the established brand, we have the established business, and now we're going into our huge growth phase, which is happening very soon, that people will see. But I do think it's interesting also that people need, when they bring on a social media manager, social media strategist, that they also are in it for the long game. And I hear often, people go into contracts for 3 to 6 months. And in my honest opinion, that's too short.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. It's not enough to, unless, I think there might be anomalies if you have an established brand that already has recognition, that already has trust and gone where it needs to go. Maybe it just needed a fresh approach for a few months for someone to learn and understand how to take it over, maybe in-house or themselves. But I do feel as though you bring such a different approach. Not only are we not the same age, so you bring a different kind of approach from a different generation, but then you also are very much willing and open to hear my thoughts on where I want to go.
It's so important.
But then you see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
You see it as an audience member.
Yeah.
You don't see it as someone within my company who has blind spots.
Yeah, exactly. And we talk all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you're always bouncing ideas,
Daily,
always.
really.
Yeah.
Almost
yeah,
daily.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if you're okay, if we haven't spoken for a couple of days. So, yeah, it's so important to have that communication. And I do think that the person of that brand also does need to give their input. And if they have an idea, be open to using that. You know, there are times that I turn around to you and I say, I don't think that's going to work.
Right.
Because I need to be honest with you, because otherwise what am I doing?
The long-term strategy, sure.
Sure.
Or if and that's important. So we've definitely been in it for the long haul, right? And so many people come to me and ask me who does my social media, and you've had more than plenty of interviews and even contracts come out of that. I mean, people know that you are the real deal in terms of batching our content, writing the scripts, and really making sure that you're following kind of that social media trend. We've also created our own trends a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And we do our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
The fun trends are really fun to do just because. But I think that it's important that anyone building a business knows that part of their line item has to be having a social media manager.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said earlier, if you try and do it for 3 months to 6 months, you're not really going to see much difference.
Yeah.
And I say that I all my contracts start as a minimum of 6 months, because you can't expect. There's also that working relationship and figuring out. You know, the first month is a whole tweaking situation because you find out what they like and you kind of figure out how each other work, because they might not really understand what you do, and then when you start doing it, they're like, oh, okay, fine. So yeah, I think it's super important to do it for the long game. I do feel that, like you said, the people that stick around for 3 to 6 months kind of gauge what you're doing and then try and replicate it, but 9 times out of 10 they can't replicate it because they don't have that knowledge, and they don't see the behind the scenes of what we do.
Right.
So you just have the conversations. But yeah,
I think a year ago people were still chasing followers, and up until probably 6 months ago, I started not really caring about the follower count. Everyone I know on Instagram went through a huge issue of us all losing massive amounts of following.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did a reel about it, right? I wasn't sad to see them go. I'm not sad to see them go now, because they're not the people in the community for the long-term relationship that we want to build. Yeah. And what are you seeing with follower count now in terms of the trends?
Yeah, I mean, for people that do a lot of ads, the following will probably still keep going up slowly, but it is slowly. And with people that are doing organic, the following really does fluctuate. The same like with us. We lost thousands. Yeah. And I remember you messaging me like,
I just didn't know what happened.
What's going on? And I was like, the trouble is that you never really know why you've had an unfollowing. You can look at the trends and see kind of where it's dropped off. But the trouble is that if a reel has offended somebody, you don't know what one they've seen really, but you could probably gauge. So yeah, followers are not important. You can have 1 million followers and make £1,000 a month, if that. Right. There are people out there that do that, and then you've got other people that make thousands, hundreds of thousands, and have less than 5,000 followers. Yeah, it's really not about the following. It's about who's engaged, who's ready to buy your services or your products, and who's loyal, because that's how you build. That's what your personal brand is doing, is that you get that follower, that viewer, that follower, and then they kind of keep coming back, and then it turns into a buyer and a member, and so on and so forth.
And we still see, I still talk to many, many women through our mentorship programs or through our communities who have these really great business ideas, and they don't want to show up online because they feel super cringy. I was there too. I remember my very first reel. It took me so long to do it. I felt like a total idiot. And I really don't care anything I do now because it doesn't matter. But it's not for what I try to tell people, especially women who are trying to build their own brand through social media. None of your following or none of what you're posting is for your friends or family.
No.
Everything you're posting is for an audience that potentially you want to teach something to, you want to share your wisdom with, all of those types of things. And the sooner you get out of your own way and realize that social media is not for your friends or family from a business perspective, you will go a long way. And you never know who's watching. I say this a lot.
Absolutely.
Every single corporate contract I've received, every single mentorship, every single Her Collective Power group cohort, every single one of them found me from Instagram.
Yeah.
And we've created this trustworthiness and the consistency of them. They see that we show up every single day, and I think there's power in that. And so if you were speaking to a woman who really had a really great business idea and just felt super cringy going online, what are your top pieces of advice for her in that regard?
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
The trouble is that everyone is always gonna feel cringy, but you've got to start somewhere. Everybody starts in the same position. You know, you start as a beginner, and you have to push through the uncomfortableness, because you can't grow inside a comfort zone. You have to. You know, I can remember the first time I did this, I was like, oh my God, but it's fun. And so now I've come back and I'm feeling like this is great. I love it. We all have to do things that are outside of our comfort zone. Otherwise you're never going to get to that next level. Yeah. So yeah, I say crack on, because otherwise there is going to be somebody else that is in the same situation as you, that in a year's time is making bank.
That's right.
And you are just sat there wishing that you'd done it. Honestly, it will be the best thing that you ever do. And you just have to keep pushing through the bits that are hard. And when you don't get everything that you want, like all the engagement, keep pushing through, because it will come.
Do you think TikTok are they a competitor of Instagram? Like, do you have to be on both when you're trying to do this? I know for us, we didn't land at all on TikTok, which is fine. We just continued with Instagram. But what are your thoughts on people moving into those?
Yeah, so it really depends on kind of what your brand is. So TikTok is a great way for growth, because you can get a lot more followers. But like I say, growth isn't really, it's not something you should be focusing on anymore. But you can build a community. I did it myself, but this was a long time ago. I don't really post on TikTok right now. A lot of people have come away from TikTok with all the things that have been kind of going on with that situation. So yes, I think definitely trial it if that is something that you want to do. I do think that TikTok, you can repurpose and see if it works. But normally, if you're going straight from Instagram and repurposing to TikTok,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
That's what we did.
Exactly.
It doesn't work.
And I've done that for so many other people, because they just don't have the time to, you know, if you're posting 7 days a week, to do completely different strategies, because people are busy, and that's totally understandable. So you have to kind of pick the lane. Your main one. You know.
Do you have to have two different strategies? One's a strategy for Instagram and a strategy for TikTok?
I think they will be quite similar, but I would definitely switch it up. So with TikTok, a lot of things that are doing well, and this is kind of where Instagram has gone, is that TikTok has always been a face to cam kind of talking and just mundane life things. Like, people love to see get ready with me's on TikTok, and they like to see that on Instagram as well. But I do feel that TikTok is more for people that are kind of, I guess, influencing and everyday lives. That's not to say that obviously people that do kind of like coaching or any sort of other business doesn't do well on TikTok. But yeah, I think I would definitely try different strategies for different. It's the same with like LinkedIn. You do a different strategy. The platforms are very similar, but they can also be very different as well.
Yeah. What else, Hayley? Anything else that's massively changed since a year ago?
I think we've really covered it. You know,
don't chase followers.
Yeah.
You don't need hashtags. You don't need long captions.
Yeah. What we haven't covered is that shares, reposts. Obviously, repost wasn't a thing last year.
Oh, that's brand new. That's the arrows.
The like box. So you know, shares, saves, and reposts are being pushed out a lot more, pushing your content out a lot more. Likes are not really a thing anymore.
Oh, okay.
So likes were a thing last year.
Sure.
This year, likes are. I mean,
and no one's even the comments are hard now, and I feel like more people share or repost. Instead of commenting. Yeah, I think we're seeing more and more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. People share things.
Except the haters and the trolls.
Yeah.
The haters and the trolls will always be haters and trolls.
Absolutely. But if you've got haters and trolls, you're doing something
well.
Doing
well,
yeah.
I had a hater comment the other day. It was really actually funny. Like, anyway, it was really funny.
Yeah.
And I actually deleted it because
I
know.
Oh, you should have at least sent it to me.
I know I should have, but here we are. All right, good. So don't chase the followers.
No, don't chase the followers. Keep showing up.
Yeah.
You know,
tell real stories. Be real.
Be patient.
Please don't be edited. Please don't be filtered.
Oh,
I mean, we're over that disaster.
So over that.
Get in good lighting. I mean, listen, I have good lighting.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But I don't have a filter. I like the Paris. The only thing I'll ever use is the different colors, like Los Angeles. Paris. Something.
Yeah.
That's the only filter.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So and just be patient, because these, especially on Instagram, it can be tough. It can be tough. But if you stay consistent, you stay patient, you really just keep going for your why as well. Like,
go for your why.
Go for your why.
Be really clear on that.
Be passionate.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to go against the grain, because they're normally the content that people actually, you start getting the people that you want. Because if you're going against the grain and not being like everybody else, people kind of flock to you.
Yeah.
And then they're your people, because they're like,
right.
oh, I actually like this person.
That's right. Well, Hayley, how do people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Better Be Social, B as in the bug, so BEE, Better Be Social, and
or DM me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She often comments as well. Well, hopefully this helped, this little episode that we wanted to push in here today, because it's always helpful to get new information on social media, what's happening, and what you don't need to follow. We don't need to chase followers anymore, which I love. So hopefully you like this. Share this with someone who wants to start their business online, who's struggling with figuring out how to show up online, even bounce ideas off Hayley. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for
Bye,
having
everyone.
me.
Thank you.
Bye.
I hope you loved this episode as much as I did. For more tips on elevating your leadership, please follow us on Instagram, Collective Women's Leadership, or visit our website, collectivewomensleadership.com. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.